Hello, sports fans. Welcome to another edition of Vets Plus Sports.com. This is your host, Cool Beans Terrell Davis, along with Mr. James Miller.
Hello, everyone. How y'all doing this weekend? Hope y'all doing good. We're glad we could join y'all. Cool Beans had some technical difficulties last night, so here we are Sunday night.
Yeah, for those that was watching, remember we had that big old snowstorm. Everybody was talking about the big old snowstorm. Well, yeah, it put my power out yesterday. I just got it back today, so this is why we're doing it today and not yesterday.
So hope everybody's been staying warm, watching some football. We'll let Cool Beans do a shout out to our listeners.
Yes, we like to give a shout out to those that come and watch our lives, especially those that come to give us your undivided attention that's watching it now, and those that'll come back and watch the replay. And I got some news for our audio. We had some news on the audio one, but we got our main cities that always listen to us, like Boardman, Oregon, Ashburn, Virginia, Grinzeg-Weilen, Germany, Brussels, Belgium. We also had Falkenstein, Germany, San Jose, California, Los Angeles, California. And the surprise was because we are in the Beckley, West Virginia area. We actually had Beckley, West Virginia for the first time. I've actually seen some downloads from Beckley, West Virginia. So we thank you for that. Thank y'all for listening.
Yes, thank y'all for listening and tuning in. I guess we'll go ahead and get started with before we get to our main sport that we like to talk about with football and stuff. But we'll just jump into some hockey, go over some scores and everything.
Cool beans.
We got right now going on at the end of the first period. You got the Golden Knights and the Wild. The Wild's up on the Golden Knights 1-0. You got the Red Wings. This is a final here. The Red Wings beat the Kraken 6-2. You got the Senator. I really don't have a hockey team.
I don't either.
I like the Kraken. I just like the name Kraken.
Exactly. I play by name. Kraken is one. Predators is another.
There you go. So the Kraken lost 6-2. You got the Stars and the Senators. Senators beat the Stars 3-2. Lightning over the Penguins 5-2. Here's a final. It was in overtime. The Ducks over the Hurricanes 3-2. And that is all the games
that we had
today. I'll run over. I keep forgetting the day's Sunday instead of Saturday.
Right, exactly.
So I'll run over some scores from yesterday because that's your bigger slot games. Yesterday you had the Bruins over the Panthers 4-3, Kraken over the Sabres 6-2, the Senators over the Penguins 5-0. You had the Canucks over the Maple Leafs 3-0, the Stars over the Canadiens 2-1, Devils beat the Lightning 3-2. Flyers over the Ducks 6-0. Oilers over the Blackhawks 4-3. The Blue Jackets over the Blues 2-1. The Jets over the Avalanche 3-0. Capitals over the Predators 4-1. Islanders over the Utah Hockey Club 2-1. The Flames beat the Kings 2-1. Rangers over the Golden Knights 2-1. And the Wild beat the Sharks yesterday 3-1. And for some standings here, we'll just go over the top couple teams in each division. In the Eastern Conference, in the Atlantic Division, you've got the Maple Leafs. They're still up there. They are 27-15-2. The Panthers are 25-15-3. And then Tampa Bay Lightning right behind them at 23-15-3. In the Metropolitan Division, you've got the Capitals. They're leading it with 28-10-5. New Jersey Devils are 26-15-4. And then in the third place there is the Hurricanes at 26-15-3. Going out to the Western Conference, you got the Winnipeg Jets 29-12-3. Minnesota Wild 27-12-4, and then Dallas Stars are 27-14-1, and a close behind them is the Avalanche 26-17-1. And in the Pacific, you got the Golden Knights leading that division 28-11-3, with the Edmonton Oilers at 26-13-3. And then the Kings, Los Angeles Kings, are 24-11-5.
One of the Oilers trying to make another run at that cup again.
Let's see. I'd say they'll probably get it going once if they get there, as long as they don't slide off, because they're approaching their halfway point.
Right. I was thinking about getting me a Predators jersey. In fact, I think the Predators is in the Metropolitan. I know last I checked the standings, they were second to last, so they ain't doing too good.
Let's see right here. Let me go back to I'm right here at it. So let's see. They are well. Let's see where they're at. There's Atlantic. They are in. The Predators are in the Western and Central.
Oh, okay.
And they're next to last in that division. They are Nashville Predators are 13-22-7, and the Chicago Blackhawks 14-27-2. And here's the thing, years ago, growing up in the 90s and stuff, I kept up with hockey a little bit.
Uh-huh.
And Chicago Blackhawks was one of your top teams in.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, they were one of your top teams, and you had the Kings, and you had some of them, the Penguins and the Bruins, and that was your top dogs in. It's like I said, I ain't watched it in a long time, but to see them, the Chicago Blackhawks down there in the very last, that's shocking, really.
Right,
to what you're used to seeing, growing up and everything. Let's see if they got any news. And I'm going to butcher this name up. I don't know why. Ovechkin. He scores another goal. He's getting close to Wayne Gretzky's record. He's got 873. So he is, I'd say, I don't know how many. He's around 20 or 20 some goals now. So I'd say by the end of February, he'll probably end up breaking it. Going into February, March area, I'd say.
Right.
And I'll need to keep an eye on that. I may try to watch that if I can. Unless there's a football game on. I don't know.
Yeah. I know. It'd be hard for me. If I had a choice between hockey and football, especially playoff football, I'd have to watch it. I even watched a little bit of the Green Bay, even though it disappointed me and it didn't go my way. But we'll talk about that later.
All right. Yeah, we'll get to that because that'll probably take up the rest of our episode. Anything from you want to talk about from the women's NBA?
In fact, there is nothing that I didn't pick up any news on women's NWA. Nothing came across my phone for the women's NBA. So I'm gonna say it's another one of those not so busy nights on. So nothing really passed by.
All right, we'll jump in the NBA before I get in some scores. Excuse me. I see here it says the 76ers elect not to build a continuous $1.3 billion arena.
Oh.
So I wonder how much Embiid has anything to do with that.
I think that has a lot. It's like, why would we build you a new stadium and y'all steady losing it and you got somebody that won't play and say, oh, I'm not playing back-to-back games. And I think he should have never said that. Even if that was his plan to not do it, he should have just did it and not said anything.
They may be looking at, well, he may not be with the franchise much longer. They may deal him or get rid of him.
Oh, I think they are going to deal him now.
But here's my thing. Who would want him? I mean, you got a guy, he's only wanting to play 2/3 of the time. Why would you want him on the team?
I don't think he's a high price feed. He would be somebody I would still get if he's going to be coming off the bench and relieving my actual starter. But no, I'm not counting on him to be the main guy to run the offense through him. No.
Send him to L.A. with LeBron. Send him with LeBron. He's crying for help all the time. There's you a big man.
Yeah, there you go.
But let's see. I think that's about it as far as the news goes. We'll get into some scores here. I know you messaged me. You're excited and happy that your
Oh yeah,
Knicks,
about them Knicks, yeah.
them Knicks won.
But it's
Um,
not the fact they won 140 points. Wow,
they've been sandbagging.
they must have.
We'll get to that. Um, all right, right now at halftime, you got the Jazz and the Nets. The Jazz are up 49-48 on the Nets. Just starting in the first, you got the Hornets and the Suns. The Hornets are winning 2-0. The final you just mentioned there is the Knicks over the Bucks 140-106. Looks like Brunson went off 44 points, 6 assists.
Yeah.
You got the Nuggets and the Mavericks. Nuggets beat the Mavericks 112-101. The Kings over the Bulls 124-119. The Celtics got beat by the Pelicans. They won 120-119. The Pacers over. Oh my God, I'm shocked. The Pacers over the Cavaliers.
What? I'm shocked too.
108-93. What happened, Cleveland? You just take a night off?
Dang.
Cleveland's 33-5 with their record. They're 20-2 at home, just the second loss at home.
And they probably still leading that the division.
The Magic over the 76ers 104-99. And the Thunder pounded the Wizards 136-95. And you're talking about standings, and we'll get that right now. They should be leading because Boston's got double digits in losses. And as of right now, you got Cleveland leading that with a 33-5 record, and behind them is Boston with a hold up, what happened? It dropped down on me. 28-11 record. Then your Knicks are just sticking right behind at 26-14.
They love that third spot. I just can't see. They can't. Oh, the Pacers.
They'll make a
Moving up.
run. Yeah, Pacers are in the fifth spot. Orlando in the fourth. Milwaukee is in the sixth, and that's who y'all pounded. And then Miami Heat is in the seventh spot, the same record with Bucks. And then Detroit, the Pistons, are in that eighth spot, and then the Hawks and the Bulls. And out west, the Thunder are still chucking along. They're 32-6. Houston Rockets are 25-12. The Memphis Grizzlies are 25-14, following the Denver Nuggets 23-15. The Mavericks are in that fifth spot at 22-17. And Los Angeles Lakers are sixth at 20-16. You know, that's the thing. The Lakers have moved up. Remember, they were on that bottom 9-10 spot. They've moved on up.
Yeah.
And you got the Clippers at the seventh spot at 20-17. Minnesota at 20-18 at the eighth spot. Sacramento is at the 9 at 20-19. And Golden State hanging on at the 10th spot at 19-19.
But you know the thing that really trips me out about this league right now, yeah, I can see the Thunder doing what they're doing, the Grizzlies doing what they're doing. But did you think the Rockets would be sitting at the 2 spot, and the Golden State is not even in contention right now?
No, they're not. Golden State started off hot, if you remember.
Yeah, they did.
They was in the top 4 or 5, if I'm not mistaken. But I think who did Houston got in the offseason? Houston brought in some players, if you remember. I can't remember who they brought in. Actually, let me see if I can click on here. They done some willing and dealing in the offseason.
I know they have Dylan Brooks, but they had Dylan Brooks last year.
I thought maybe it was the year before they did. But I thought they did some willing.
They
and
might
dealing.
have did some wheeling and dealing to add to it because they got Dylan Brooks last year, and then they might have got some other people to come in this year. But
they got Aaron Holiday. I don't know if he was on there the year before.
yeah,
Here's another one. I think
is.
Fred Van Velt. He used to play. I can't remember. Did he used to not on your Knicks? He used to play somewhere else. So they've, but man, they're doing good. They're on a roll right now. But And then they got Steven Adams. He's been around forever. But
Oh, Fred Van Vliet. I
yeah,
remember him.
yeah. I think they brought him in. I mean, he's not like he's a
No, he can hit one. He can hit those three. He ain't just Steph Curry, but he ain't far from it. He tried to be.
so they brought him in. I don't know if it was this year or the year before last, but that's where we're at right there when it comes to the NBA. Let me get over here to some. If you're done with the NBA, we'll get some college basketball going on.
Cool beans, because you sent me a text earlier about college basketball. I was like, oh, okay.
I was watching some football and I didn't even know it was on. Um, Working this night shift half the time, I don't know what day is what.
Right, I understand that.
But the Mountaineers beat the Colorado today. It was a close game until the last minute and a half, and then West Virginia pulled out. But here's some scores. The Ducks, Oregon Ducks, 15 in the country. Penn State, 82-81. Number 16, Michigan State over Northwestern, 78-68. You had number 20, Purdue over Nebraska, 104-68. Number 21, West Virginia over Colorado, 78-70. And then number 24, Michigan beating Washington, 91-75. And then I'll run down some scores from yesterday on Saturday. You had Tennessee, number 1 Tennessee beating Texas, 74-70. Auburn, number 2 in the country, beating South Carolina, 66-63. Number 3, Iowa State barely beat Texas Tech. Let me tell you, this Big 12 is a basketball conference.
Mm-hmm.
You got to come and play your A game every night. Iowa State beat Texas Tech 85-84.
This weekend must have been beat Texas weekend. What the heck is going on?
And then number 4, Duke over Notre Dame, 86-78. Number 5, Alabama over Texas A&M, another Texas school. Alabama beat them 94-88. Kentucky, number 6, Kentucky over number 14, Mississippi State, 95-90. And Florida Gators beat Arkansas 71-63. UConn over Georgetown 68-60. Kansas beat Cincinnati 54-40. You remember West Virginia beating Kansas?
Uh-huh.
And I can't remember what they were, like 6 maybe, something like that.
I thought it was like 7 or something. I think it
6
was
or 7.
Yeah.
Well, they fell to number 11 after that loss.
Right. Where did West Virginia fall to? Did they still was ranked by 10?
The new ones don't come out so till like Tuesday or Monday.
Oh, okay.
So right now they're still 21. But I mean they beat Colorado. So we'll see if they stay in the ranked. Then you had number 12 Houston beating Kansas State 87-57. USC over number 13 Illinois 82-72. Georgia beat number 17 Oklahoma 72-62. Number 18 Gonzaga over Washington State 88-75. Number 19 Memphis over East Carolina 74-70. Number 23 Ole Miss over LSU 77-65. And number 25 Utah beating Boise State 81-79. That's a rundown with college basketball scores. So, you got anything else you want to mention with college basketball?
No. We're getting ready to the other college stuff we need to talk about.
All right. Yeah, we'll get to our college playoffs in football. And since we didn't get on yesterday, but let me get down here to the scores. I don't know why it took me all the way. You had Penn State and Notre Dame playing in the semifinals. I missed this game.
Yep,
I
that's the one I got.
I had Penn State beat Notre Dame, which Notre Dame. As soon as I get to this score here, Notre Dame ended up beating Penn State 27-24. I watched the last bit of that game. Penn State blew it. I was going to say they blew it. And I can't remember if that was that game. I can't remember. It may have been that game. And play selection, if I remember right, came there at the end of the game for Penn State. Play selection.
Maybe so. Cause that's a game I didn't even watch. I forgot about it. Oh no, I didn't forget about it. Thursday was the day that I came down. I was sick, and I could not get to that game. I was like, all it was sleep and drink fluids to stay.
And then the second game on Friday night, which I got this right, you got this wrong. Ohio State beat Texas 28-14. No, and this is the game I'm telling you about. Play selection. It was this for Texas, I think. When it came down to the end of this game, maybe it was this one. I can't remember. I should have put it down in my notes.
Oh, I watched that one. Ewers.
Man, Arch Manning should have been in there. That's just my opinion, but so we got a title game coming up: Ohio State versus Notre Dame, and I think Ohio State will go ahead and win it. Now, when we started this off before the playoffs started, I've got our original picks here. We were definitely wrong, but I mentioned you can back up and listen to us on that episode. I don't know what episode it was, but I said Ohio State could be the team to run the whole table and win it all if they were back to midseason form.
Mm-hmm.
And I picked the Ducks to beat them, but I had an asterisk beside it because last time Ducks barely beat them by 1 point in Eugene. And then Ohio State thrashed the Ducks. They roasted them. They had roasted duck. And then the Longhorns, they just butchered them up. So
then they had some duck, and then they come get some steak.
and I think the Leprechaun he's out of luck. So I think the Buckeyes are going to win the national title if they keep playing the way they're doing and everything. But
right.
Ohio State, the Buckeyes are looking pretty good. They're looking good.
I don't know. I don't know how tasty eating hunchback would be. I don't know. Them hunchbacks might get some Buckeye.
But we'll see what happens. That's coming the 20th. That's this Monday, week from tomorrow. You'll have Ohio State and Notre Dame playing. Let's see, that's in Arizona, ain't it? No, it's in Mercedes. No, it's in Atlanta, Georgia. Mercedes-Benz.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you can go to that game starting out as $1,100 per ticket, $1,400 per ticket.
Oh yeah, cool beans,
Yeah, we go to that. We can go to that game, $1,400 per ticket. So that's the matchup. I don't know what to expect of this game, especially if Ohio State is clicking like they have been the 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
This may not be a close one.
I'm pulling for Notre Dame, but I really don't. If they play if Ohio State plays like they played them last 2 games, I don't think Notre Dame has a chance.
No, if they play like they have the last 2 games, if they don't get like the daisical and get away from their game plan, I mean, you could probably look at a 2-score victory over Notre Dame.
Right, yeah. But I thought during the Texas game, I thought the big head would get them.
Well, here's my problem with Texas, and I've been talking about it here the last month or so, and it's their quarterback. Mm-hmm. Quarterback play. I know they got all the hype. He's an NFL draft pick, whatever, when he goes to the NFL, but he has not looked good at all. I mean, he misses the passes. He misses it's off. I mean, it's bad. Um, but I don't know how he was before the injury because remember he was out a month and then he came back and then I watched him first couple games he came back. I mean he was missing bad,
Right.
passes bad. So I don't know what it is, but the better quarterback was on as the backup, which Texas the coach didn't want to pull the full trigger. He implemented Arch in there some.
I seen him in there one play. I watched in and out the game. I seen him come in. It was a 3rd and 1 or a 4th and 1. He came in and brought him in, and he picked up the first down.
If
But
I was that coach in his shoes after halftime, Arch Manning would have been playing the whole second half. That'd have been me. I'd have pulled a Nick Saban.
yeah,
I mean, because like I said, your better quarterbacks on the bench. Um, so I'm like, all right, viewers, we're here to win the national title. We're going to try to go get a title game. Um, even if they come back and win that, I don't know. Me being a coach, I probably would have if they would have came back and won that with Arch Manning. Arch Manning's starting in the national title game.
yeah. Here's the thing. This is my first year actually paying attention to college football, so I don't really know if it's too much like the NFL. Because in the NFL, the coaching jobs is Russian roulette. You better win because at the end of the game, you don't know if you're getting fired or not. So I was like, that coach played like his job was not at risk.
They college, you got more of a leash. That's like I said. If I was ever going to coach, I would never coach in the NFL. You can forget that. I would coach at the college level because you got a little bit longer leash than you do in the NFL. Well, look how long West Virginia kept Neil Brown.
This is true.
Um, but and that's the reason why Deion Sanders is staying in college too. Because I mean look this past year there was 3 coaches just a couple weeks ago their first year coaching and they got fired.
Yep.
You didn't even give them guys a chance, and they got fired first year. I mean, what? I mean, you ain't got guys in there. He's playing with the same guys that he came in before, and yeah, I don't. I mean, Raiders was one. I mean, they had no quarterback play, no running back really, and you fire Pierce and you didn't even give the guy a chance.
I know. Now Pierce was a defensive player. He was a defensive end for the New York Giants, but he's defensive mind. So he was working with the defense. That offense had to be rebuilt. That offense is a whole thing. You got to go through the draft. You got to go through free agency.
Yeah.
You got to rebuild that offense starting with the line. You got to build it all the way up. You need quarterback, running back, receivers, offensive line. You need everything.
So, but yeah, in college you get a little more. Well, now that may start changing since you got the transfer portal, but for the most part, they usually give you a little bit of leeway. Uh, because I mean, really, all right, when you go to fire coach in college, who you gonna get? You know,
True.
who's available out there to get? Um, and like we mentioned with West Virginia with Neil Brown, it was time for him to go. 6 years and you ain't done nothing. You stayed stagnant the whole time.
Yep.
Nothing changed. The thing is, the Duke could bring in talent. He had the talent he brought in, but he just couldn't coach it. So it was time to move on. They got Rich Rod back. West Virginia's moving with. They're bringing in players now. It's starting to get a little more exciting. They got a whole new secondary brought in now. So
Yeah, that's gonna
they've
be
got
good.
they got 4 or 5 brought in. We had a transfer from LSU on defense from up front. I think you got a transfer from Penn State for a defensive man up front.
Mm-hmm.
You had a sought out linebacker that transferred in, but from a smaller school like Penn State or somewhere, but we'll see what happens. And they just brought in another running back that came in from the transfer portal. He's kind of built like C.J. Donaldson, so he's a little more bigger back. I think he's like 6'4", 6'3", 240, 220, something like that.
Okay.
So they got receivers coming in. So we'll just see what happens. Well, one of those defensive backs that came in to West Virginia came from Oklahoma. Rich Rod hired one of Oklahoma's defensive coaches.
Okay.
So when he came over to West Virginia, I think his last name is Harrington or something. He came with him. And I was like, man, I remembered that last name. And then I seen where he played. I'm like, well, no wonder. Played with Oklahoma. So they got him, I think, his last year. They got a bunch of 1 years that came in. So we'll see what happens. You got anything on college anymore you want to mention?
Nope.
Let me ask you this, okay? You want to do a score prediction of this national title game coming up?
Score prediction. See, really, I don't think Ohio State would have scored as high on Texas if it wasn't for Texas's errors. That one where he fumbled and they returned for 80-some yards. Notre
Here's my
Dame.
score. Ohio State 41, Notre Dame 27.
I do not think Ohio State will score that much.
I think they will. I think they will.
Uh,
41-27. What you got?
all right. I'm going to go with 28-24. Still going with Ohio State pulling it off because I don't think Notre Dame has the gas, but I still think it's going to be close. 28-24.
Let's see. Ohio State's got more weapons than Penn State. And Penn State's got a good tight end, Singleton, that back, which I like him. Remember, I seen him play when he was in Morgantown.
Okay.
Singleton, and remember when Penn State came to Morgantown, and I liked. He looked good. I mean, he's on TV. He don't look that big, but seen him there because we was right there near the goal line. That dude's a pretty big dude. So, but I think Ohio State's got more weapons. They got more to take care of to stop than Penn State. So it may be a closer game, but it could go to a 2-score game easy.
Right.
All right, you ready to get to the NFL?
Yes.
All right, now before we get some scores today, I didn't get to listen to it. I was trying to turn it up. I seen they brought up and they was talking about Mike McCarthy. You heard any news on him?
No. It would be nice if it was news he got fired.
Because the day is not the little. He's the oldest boy. It's his birthday today. He's 10 years old. So we have people
happy
over.
birthday to him.
I'll tell him. Thank you. So I was trying to turn it up a little bit to see what they was talking about Mike McCarthy. Because I know you as a Dallas fan would love to hear, and the majority of the Dallas fans, but hear that he was fired.
I'm looking this up while you're speaking.
Well, my buddy that's a Ravens fan, he said it's not Mike McCarthy's fault. He said it's Jerry Jones's fault, and he's got reins on him and won't let him do what he needs to do. So, but
that's true. That part is true. He's always had some strings. Like even when Bill Parcells was there,
they butted heads.
They did. But here's the thing. I think Parcells still had a little bit more freedom than Mike McCarthy got.
Oh, yeah. And you'd think, all right, Jerry Jones is a businessman. He's not a coach. He don't know how to, he just needs to sit back, hire the people he needs hired, and he needs to let the coaches do their own job.
Exactly.
He ain't, as far as I know, Jerry Jones has never coached a day in his life. So they need to leave him alone. Here it is right here. The Pats, and now I see why. You ready for this? It all makes sense. It all makes sense. You know, Mayo was fired from New England
Uh-huh.
1 year.
Yep.
I see why now. You ready? You know who they just hired today
Who
or
they are?
yesterday? Vrabel.
Mike Vrabel?
Yeah, they hired him. That's the reason why they fired Mayo, to bring him back. Remember, he used to play for the Patriots.
Yeah. So did Mayo.
Well, Mayo did too, but that's right. But that's the reason why they only gave him a 1 year shot, because he was available.
But see, this is what gets me. Yeah, Mike Vrabel was available, but you know how it's like if you hiring somebody, you interviewing somebody, and you want to know how this person is really gonna be, you go back and you look at their job history. So let's go back and look at Mike Vrabel's job history. He was the coach of the Tennessee Titans. What did they do? Where did he take them?
Well,
Hey, you gonna fire a man after his first year just trying this is somebody, and you go with somebody that has somewhat of a proven record, but he's proved he's done nothing.
so we'll see how that pans out right there. I just seen that.
The only thing I found on Mike McCarthy is what you call it. They say his contract is set to expire this week, and he's entered open talks with the Cowboys.
I wonder if Jones is going to be the one to let it just elapse and not do nothing. Say, we're looking we're going with the other option.
He is the butthead to do that. And the reason why I'm calling him a butthead for doing that, this man could have got a job with Chicago. They said, no, we're not going to allow that. You're not going to allow him permission. But at the same time, you don't plan on keeping him.
Yeah.
So instead, you're gonna fire this man and at the same time keep him from getting another job. You know, I'm not a Mike McCarthy fan, but I'm just saying that's still screwed up.
It is. It is. All right, we had some games, 2 games yesterday.
Uh-huh.
And I think one team forgot they had a game. Now, me and you picked them to win, and that's the Chargers playing at Houston.
They showed up for 2 drives.
Houston defense got all over the Chargers, which shocked. I mean, I thought Herbert would have done better. But Texans beat the Chargers 32-12. And then later on, the Steelers and the Ravens played, and the Ravens beat the Steelers 28-14. Now, you and I missed that Chargers pick, but we got the Ravens. No, you got Steelers. You went Steelers.
Yep, I did go Steelers.
I got the Ravens. So, and then you had the early game today, the Bills and the Broncos, which the score didn't surprise me.
It didn't surprise me either.
But when I turned it on and it was 10-7, and I think this was the turning point in the game. Okay, I think this took the air out of the Broncos. Right before halftime, they could tie it up, and they missed that field goal.
Yep.
They could have went in 10-10, and I think that just drained the air out of them.
It sure did. Because all the replacements came out for after the halftime. The real players played the first half, and then the backups came. They did nothing that second half. It was just like that first drive when Denver first came out there. I was like, oh, my God, I might just drop another one. When he threw that 40-some yard pass, I was like, oh, my goodness, I'm going to lose this one too. Buffalo is out of here. And it just like, and it just went, yeah.
So right now in the AFC, you got Houston going to Arrowhead, which that don't bother me none because I mean they're going to be playing in the cold.
Yep.
I don't know if it's going to be snowing there, but it's going to be cold. It's going to be loud. The Texans are used to warm weather, so indoors anyway. And then you're going to have a showdown between your number 1 and number 2 quarterbacks in the league.
Which that's good for Mahomes. You don't have to worry about taking them 2 out because one of them going to take each other is going to take the other one out for you.
And my thing is, as a Chiefs fan, who would I rather play? I don't know.
Probably Baltimore because I don't know. I was thinking Baltimore because what you call it? His Lamar Jackson doesn't have a good rating against Mahomes. He
He
hasn't beat
don't,
Mahomes that many times.
and Josh Allen don't either. I don't think.
Josh Allen doesn't either, but Josh Allen
But
just got him that last time, that recent time. So
yeah,
like
so come playoff time, Josh Allen don't have a good record against Mahomes. Um, and you got both of them running quarterbacks.
mm-hmm.
Um, so and Cook is looking good running the ball for Buffalo. So it's kind of
I
like a
seen something in cooking. I was like, today, I was like, oh, he's not going to last long. And he reminded me of an old cowboy.
Ezekiel Elliott.
No, he's worse than Ezekiel Elliott. It goes back first. It goes to a guy named Lincoln Coleman. He replaced, who did he replace? Julius Jones I think was the running back they got rid of. And the reason why I'm saying this is because, okay, you are the back. You are the power runner. My thing is, James Cook has a lot of speed, and he has the finesse and the juking and everything. He was running up the field, and when it comes time to get that hit, he would either go out of bounds. The only time he's actually taking the hit is when he couldn't avoid the hit. And my thing is, with Lincoln Coleman, he did all this to push Julius Jones out. And the minute he gets to start, he would get runs like that and he would run out of bounds versus finishing the run. If somebody's in front of you, are the power back. You are the number one. You set the tone. Run that guy over. Don't go out of bounds. You hit that dude and keep, go and get a couple extra yards. James Cooks would like to go out of bounds. I was like, that might come back to bite him.
Well, that's probably why they go with Davis, which Davis got knocked out. If you remember, Davis, when he get close to the goal line, they're probably was going to use Davis.
Right, yeah.
I don't know. I didn't see the status update on him. I don't know if he had a concussion or not. If you seen on that, was
no,
on that
it wasn't. He passed. He passed the concussion protocol. He had they was checking also his neck because the way he got hit.
Yeah, when his arm stiffened up like that, I'm like, oh man, that ain't good.
But they said when that happened that he was most likely not to come back in that because they was protocol with his neck. They was going to watch out for his neck. But yeah, so he doesn't have a concussion. So if his neck's good, he can play next week.
So yeah, you had the Broncos getting thrashed by the Bills 31-7. And then this other game I didn't watch none. And here's what threw me for a loop. Okay, after the Bills game, I was looking for the next game, which I thought was the Eagles and the Packers, and I clicked on my thing because we stream everything, and they had the Commanders and Bucks playing. And I clicked on it. I'm like, wait a minute, they ain't playing till 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I got to looking at, and I guess they were showing a rerun from earlier in the season. I'm like, and it threw me off for a loop. I went to my phone and everything else. I said, there's no score. I'm like, what's going on here? But so yeah, I didn't.
You want to hear a confession?
What's that?
I had that same thing. I turned it on, and I'm looking at Jalen Daniels throw McLaughlin a pass, and I forgot who tackled him, but he got tackled. And it was like first down. It's like, oh, this game's playing already. I thought this was 8 o'clock at night. It was a whole game.
Well, I'm sitting there watching that and everything else. It just started and everything. And then at the bottom, I seen a score update. The Eagles scored a touchdown. I'm like, wait a minute. They ain't supposed to have two games going on at the same time. So I looked at my phone. I'm like, what's going on here?
Yeah, because I stream everything too. The thing is, the Eagles game, I didn't catch that. I just cut highlights of that because unfortunately I don't have Fox. It's the only one thing I don't have. I got Peacock, I got Paramount, I got ESPN. I just don't have Fox. And I don't have Fox because usually they don't have anything I want to watch anyway.
Well, you had the Eagles winning 22-10. Right now they're starting the third quarter. You got the Commanders and the Bucks are tied 10-10. Okay. You missed that game. You picked the Packers over the Eagles because you just can't pick the Eagles. It's just in you. You being a Cowboys
Yeah,
fan, you can't pick the Eagles. They could have been 15-0 or 15-2, and you still wouldn't have picked them.
I sure would have went against them. And then I was wrong about something. I said something during our radio show, or maybe it was last week.
Uh-huh.
I said, remember, the Packers was the team that beat them this year. Actually, wrong. There was the Eagles beat the Packers this year earlier. They said that during pregame show, and I was like, oh, the Eagles actually beat the Packers. And I was like, oh, okay.
So the Eagles move on, and now we're waiting to see here with this game. You got this game and got a game tomorrow. So we'll see what happens here. My game right here, it just went off for some reason. I don't know why. What's wrong with this TV? Because I had the game on behind me, and
Right.
I go turn to look, and it's off. So I don't know what happened.
I just see, yeah, it's a blue screen back there, is what I'm seeing.
So I don't know what happened to it. So I'm trying to get logged back on, but it's 10-10 right now. Start of the third quarter. Commanders got the ball. We'll see what happens.
Oh, it was 10-10, you said?
Yeah, 10-10. It's tied up. So they got the ball right now moving. So, but
I picked Washington in this one.
yeah,
I think we both did that one.
we both picked Washington on this. So here's how it'd be: if Commanders win this, they will be going playing the Lions.
Yep.
Okay.
Now look at it this way: if the Commanders lose and the Vikings win, then the Vikings got to go play the Lions.
Yeah.
You think the Lions can beat them again?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. After watching that last game of the season, you know what they're going to do to Darnold again? They're going to blitz him all game. They're going to blitz him all game. And we'll see if Rams don't take the page out of what the Lions did and blitz him all game tomorrow night. So, all right. So you got 10-10 right now. You've got.
Oh, you got it back on behind you.
Yeah, I finally got back on. And then tomorrow night you got the Rams and the Vikings. At let's see, 8:00. Yeah, 8:00 tomorrow.
Yeah, hey, it's Monday Night Football,
and they're playing in Arizona, Glendale. So we'll.
Because of the fires. I was like, wait,
yep.
why they play? I got it now.
So they'll be playing in Arizona. I think we'll see what happens. I think Vikings should win that.
Oh yeah, I think they should.
So that would put the if the Vikings win that and the Commanders win, that goes the Vikings going to the Eagles, and then it's got the Commanders going to the Lions. So
yeah, I think I can trust the Vikings killing the Eagles.
So
destroying the Eagles. I think I
don't think
that.
That Eagles defense is pretty good. The Eagles defense is pretty good. Then they got to go to Philly. So, and they let's see. I'll tell you. Let me show you this right here. You ready for this? The Eagles are 8-1 at home. 8-1.
Yeah, let's go ahead and make that 8-2.
I don't know if that'll happen. But all right, well, I guess we're getting close to the end of this episode.
Yeah, we are.
So, like we always do, we'll go ahead and end this. If you're thinking about harming or hurting yourself, there's a quick number you can call, 988 That's the Veterans Crisis Line. It's 1-800-273-8255. Or like I said, dial that quick number, 988. Dial 1. Get you in contact to the people you need to and the resources you need to. Or if you're out there, go to your local VA medical center. Go to the ER. Ask them, tell them you need some help. And they'll get you in contact with the people you need. So, you got anything else, Beans?
I got nothing.
Well, y'all have a good Sunday night. Stay warm, and then we'll be back on the audio part during the middle week sometime. Just keep watching for it and stay safe, and we'll talk to you later.
Have fun.